Welcome to your reset with Christiane Piano, where the purpose is to support you in releasing all that you are not, so the truth of who you really are can emerge. This is accomplished through working with the body-mind from an ontological perspective. We use various modalities to support you in supporting yourself exactly where you are, so that you may return to an experience of wholeness and ease, moment by moment. Deep reflection is one of the greatest tools through which to do this. To take a moment, to pause, assess, reflect, and literally and figuratively reset, come back to center, and move back into your one and precious life with increased clarity and purpose. Hello, this is Christiane Piano, and this week's episode is a reflection on curiosity. Now, if you are familiar with this podcast, I mention curiosity quite often as an element to body-mind well-being throughout various episodes. So I thought it would be useful to do a reflection purposely on curiosity, to dig a little deeper on, when I use the word curiosity, what it is I'm referring to, and how the coming from a space of curiosity, how that influences your own self-development, and how you know yourself, others in the world, and your experiences overall. And when it comes to curiosity, there's a wonderful quote by Albert Einstein, who stated, "The mind that opens to a new idea never returns to its original size." And to add to that, Charles Baudelaire stated, "The mainspring of genius is curiosity." You see, a curious mind leads to lifelong learning in all facets of our lives. And it allows us to ask questions and to question ourselves, but not from a space of doubt, from a space of curiosity. Because the day we stop educating ourselves and learning, and the day we start to think we know everything, is the day we fall behind. The foundation of creativity and innovation is curiosity. So, what does this have to do with body-mind well-being? Well, to engage in body-mind well-being, in a certain sense, it's extremely supportive if you consider yourself to be a student of life. And what do I mean by that? I mean that no matter what is unfolding for you, and no matter what your relationship is to what is unfolding for you in your own felt experience of your life and the world, is that you maintain a state of curiosity. Why is this unfolding is not what I'm referring to, because we're not looking for the why. we're looking to what's happening here in my experience. And how is this a reflection to me to then take a look at where my blind spots are, where the opportunities are, and where life is challenging me to grow. So in a sense, there's an exploration that is implied here, an investigation, and learning, but embodied learning. Embodied learning is essential to not only understanding the concepts that one comes across with new material, but then to embody it for yourself. So you go beyond concept and you lead to the experiential. In most educational systems today, there's a hierarchy, and it's placed on knowledge. But knowledge that comes from the outside world, which in a certain sense implies that outside of me is where I will find answers. Outside of me is where I will find guidance. And sometimes when we reach for support outside of ourselves and knowledge outside of ourselves, that can prove supportive. But there is such a sway towards outside that we miss the opportunity on all that is already within. Embodied learning negates the hierarchy of putting more importance on rational understanding and foregrounds the body's contribution, which includes the brain, because it is inside of your head, which is attached to your body, and it is through an active process. So therefore, you are a participant in the learning, an active participant. Therefore, changes and shifts that are experienced in and through will be because of you being connected and tapped into your body. So it requires a development that's quite subtle. And it's the development of learning to listen to your body. So if your body is sending you messages, and that message may come through pain. Most people, when they get uncomfortable, what do? They want the pain to go away. And if the pain is exorbitant, obviously we need to support ourselves with outside sources to support a diminishing of the pain so that we can then become curious. But do you ever ask yourself, what is the pain trying to teach me? Get curious about the pain. Get curious about the discomfort. Because when we are uncomfortable, that is a sign that growth is occurring. But tied into curiosity and how it is fuel, fertilizer for your own self-development and growth process, there needs to be the presence of a willingness to not know. And when you are willing to not know, it keeps you humble. And it allows you to be a space that's open to new experiences from a place of non-judgment. Why is personal development so important? Well, it facilitates a deeper connection to yourself, as well as others and the world around you. So there's the age-old question of, who am I? Most people, as they live life, move through life thinking they've gained an understanding of who they are. If you ask them who they are, they will tell you who they are through their words. But if you gain the ability to really listen and go within, you won't need somebody to say anything when you first meet them. or when your partner walks in the door, or when you look into your child's eyes. You will connect into the communication that goes beyond words. You will connect into the communication that occurs on a cellular level. And the beauty in relationships, first off, in the relationship you have to yourself before others, because we have to practice this on ourselves, first and foremost, before we can practice it with others, is rather than asking a question like, who am I? And thinking you know the answer, you get curious, because it is only natural and normal through phases of life, months of the year, days of the week, that you evolve, develop, and change. It's a natural process in life. So rather than relating to questions as searching for the answer, you stay with the question as an open question. You become curious and allow answers to rise to the surface. And the answers that arise to the surface that are first heard are usually those coming from the mind. So you take note of them and you let them go. It's not that. Allow the next answer to come until the mind gets quiet. Tapping into the beginner's mind. There's this beautiful book by Shunryu Suzuki called Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind. And I'm going to read you a passage from this book. It states, "It is quite usual for us to gather pieces of information from various sources, thinking in this way to increase our knowledge. Actually, following this way, we end up not knowing anything at all. Instead of gathering knowledge, you should clear your mind. If your mind is clear, true knowledge is already yours." So if you think about it, when you are willing to sit with the noise of the mind, to breathe deeply, to work with your body, and shift the energy from mind-focused to body-focused, you start to notice the busyness of the mind, which could be associated, if you'd like, to when you try and call someone and you get a busy signal. The message can't come through. You can't reach the other person when the phone is busy. But when the mind becomes quiet, as you move inward and you begin to listen to the quiet and the stillness, which is the opposite direction of how we are educated. Often education teaches us to reach outward, as I mentioned in the beginning. So I'm looping back around and building upon this as we move from mind to body. Shift your attention to the body. And it may seem simple, but it takes practice, and some days are easier than others. And we live in a fast-paced world, and so it takes time to filter and release the speed out of your nervous system, out of the cells in your body, out of the tissues, and to allow for softness and opening and flow to occur, so that the wisdom within you can then allow, through relaxing, to rise to the surface. So when you come at life from a space of, I don't really know who I am, but I'm willing to learn, but not as a point of arrival. From a place of curiosity, and allow yourself to surprise yourself. And it is amazing when you begin to practice this with yourself, how you will have shifts in your relationships to those closest to you and then the world outside. It's like a ripple effect. Your curiosity of life, of the world, from a place of non-judgment. And when I say non-judgment, does not mean that you will not come across things and places and experiences that don't resonate with you. Of course you will. But in some way, somehow, that will enrich you anyway. Every person that we come into contact with, every experience, whether we like it or not, that occurs and unfolds in our lives is an opportunity for us to be enriched and to learn and to grow. And when you come at life from a place of curiosity, it's not just when you go on vacation and you travel to new cultures and new places. It's in the daily life. And when you combine the two, well, it's phenomenal. So I do hope that you found this episode supportive in some way in your reflection on your approach to life and how curious you are about who you are as a human being in this world. And perhaps you'll begin to approach your own learning process with a willingness to take less focus on rational understanding and begin to trust and turn inward and know that there is a body of knowledge within each and every one of us. And when we learn to tap into that, the possibilities are limitless. So as always, share this with anyone you feel who may appreciate this reflection and come back to it as often as you'd like. And feel free to give this episode a review so more people will gain access to it. Have a great day. I invite you to join me for the brand new 5-week online series, Intertwine. It begins Sunday, September 29th at 5 Central European Standard Time. Knowledge is power, and as you uncover how the nervous system and immune system are interconnected, you will be preparing your body-mind for the season of the year where the days get shorter and we are exposed to less sunlight. Stress levels tend to increase and our nervous system and immune system take quite a beating. In this series, you will learn how to support your body-mind in new ways to enable you to ride this wave of the coming months with greater ease, vitality, and health. For more information, please go to my website, www.christianpiano.com. And if you have questions, feel free to send me an email at growth@christianpiano.com or schedule a free 15-minute consult, and I can answer any questions one-to-one.